Homelessness a priority for Winnipeg Mayor, councillors ahead of January planning retreat. Retreat for top officials, an opportunity for big picture thinking, Coun. Jeff Brauity says. The city of Winnipeg has faced numerous crises in the span of just under 2 months since Winnipeg Mayor Scott Gillingham and the rest of council took office. These include an alleged serial killer accused in the deaths of 4 women, a homicide in the downtown library, and a woman freezing to death in a bus shelter. As council prepares to gather next month to develop a new strategic plan to guide the city over the next 4 years, these events and the issues they raise, homelessness, addiction, safety, and missing and murdered Indigenous women, are likely to dominate the agenda. These are difficult days, but my job is to make sure we come together, provide the support that families need, and make sure that our city knows that the brighter days are ahead. Gillingham said during a year-end interview in mid-December. Of all the issues facing the city, homelessness is the primary concern, according to St. Norbert River Coun. Marcus Chambers. I think it's become a crisis in the sense that it's contributing to a lot of the other issues that we're seeing, especially in the downtown area, said Chambers, who also serves as acting deputy mayor and chair of the Winnipeg Police Board. To tackle these challenges, Gillingham will need to listen to all voices on council, said Daniel McIntyre Coun. Cindy Gilroy. I do want to encourage the mayor to keep reaching out, especially to people that maybe are not always like-minded with him, said Gilroy, who had been a member of former mayor Brian Bowman's inner circle on Executive Policy Committee, but was cut out after Gillingham took office. Because they are reflective of some of the Winnipeggers' voices that we need to keep in mind when we are making policies and spending our money. Open door policy. So far, Gilroy said Gillingham has done a good job of being open to a wide range of views, a sentiment echoed by other members of council. Right off the bat, he's had an open door policy, said Waverly West Coun. Janice Lukes, deputy mayor and chair of the Public Works Committee. In January, all members of council will take part in a weekend retreat at the Elkhorn Resort in Onanole, Man, to begin planning how the city will fund its priorities over the next 4 years. This is an opportunity for all council to sort of sit down, put our phones away, and just sort of do some of that sort of big picture thinking and planning for the next term, said North Kildonan Coun. Jeff Brauity, chair of the Finance Committee. Some proposals have already been outlined by Gillingham during his election campaign. He promised to use federal Rapid Housing Initiative funding to build modular housing on city-owned land for people seeking to escape homelessness, and fund projects aimed at helping Indigenous women and girls. Gillingham has ordered city staff explore ways of converting empty downtown office space into housing. He also wants to bring together representatives from the provincial government, businesses, and nonprofits to improve downtown safety. What I'm really working towards is kind of one coordinated, comprehensive plan that makes our downtown safer and healthier and ultimately gets the people who are struggling the service that they need to change their lives, he said. In those discussions, First Nations voices must be at the table, said Kathy Merrick, Grand Chief of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs. I have full confidence that he'll be able to lead the city of Winnipeg, and I have met with him on a couple of occasions and we've come to an understanding that we do need to be able to ensure that our First Nations people are taken care of, she said. Financial challenges. Another likely topic of discussion at Council's January retreat will be the city's ability or lack thereof to fund its priorities. Last month, the city projected a $57 million budget deficit for 2022. Gillingham pledged during the election campaign to raise property taxes by 3.5% per year over the next 4 years and increase frontage levies by $1.50 per foot, which is estimated to raise another $42 million per year. Gilroy said the city should look at increasing the business tax to ensure the costs of funding the city are distributed more equitably. I think that we have to make sure that when we are taxing, that we're trying to make sure that everyone is paying their fair share, she said. While the city needs money to pay for its services, It also needs to make sure that citizens are receiving good services for their money, said Transcona Coun. Russ Wyatt, who gave the example of long waits on hold with 311. I've never seen it this bad in terms of the failure to be able to respond to residents waiting, to get responses to very basic questions, he said. Council's weekend planning retreat at the Elkhorn Resort will run from January 13 to 15. I think that we have to make sure that when we are taxing, that we're trying to make sure that everyone is paying their fair share, she said. While the city needs money to pay for its services, it also needs to make sure that citizens are receiving good services for their money, said Transcona Coun. Russ Wyatt, who gave the example of long waits on hold with 311. I've never seen it this bad in terms of the failure to be able to respond to residents waiting, to get responses to very basic questions, he said. Council's weekend planning retreat at the Elkhorn Resort will run from January 13 to 15. Retreat at the Elkhorn Resort will run from January 13 to 15.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.